Namaskar. Today we'll study acne. Acne, the common form is your acne vulgaris, mostly caused by excess production of sebum from the sebaceous glands, all glands, bacteria, hormonal changes, mostly during puberty, dead skin cells, ingrown hairs. So this acne can be non-inflammatory as well as inflammatory. If it is non-inflammatory, then it is characterized by microcomedo or comedo. So comedo or microcomedo. And this microcomedo is nothing but a plug of sebum and keratin. Keratin is nothing but your dead skin cells. So keratin plus sebum forms the microcomedo, and the walls surrounding this microcomedo can be grown by commensal bacteria like Propionibacterium acnes. And when these walls break down, walls surrounding the pore, so one pore is there in the microcomedo, there is a pore, and that pore may be open or closed. And surrounding that pore, so there will be development of wall, and that wall if breaks down, that will lead to inflammation. And inflammation can cause your papules, pustules, nodules, cysts. So until it is only tender to touch, it is a papule. When it is filled with pus, it is a pustule. And when it is deeper under the skin, we call it nodule, and still deeper, further below the surface of nodule, it is a cyst. And mostly in cyst there will be sebum, keratin and bacterial infection. So if you see, during puberty there is some hormonal changes and increased production of androgen occurs, and that leads to enlargement of sebaceous gland and increased sebum production. The hair follicles will blocked. That will lead to hyperkeratinization, and this leads to the formation of microcomedo, which is a plug of sebum and keratin. And if the pore in the microcomedo is open, it is called blackhead, and if the pore is closed, it is called whitehead. So this blackhead and whitehead are the non-inflammatory acne. And when there will be inflammation surrounding the pore, and there will be papules, pustules, nodules, cysts, all these are called as inflammatory acne. So inflammation leads to your redness, scarring, hyperpigmentation, all these things will be there. So based on this, we can use either keratolytic agents or peeling agents or exfoliants, or we can use the female sex hormones like estrogen. Then the enlargement of sebaceous gland can be inhibited by sebostatic agents. The sebostatic agents like sebostatic agents like isotretinoin, the one of the retinoids. Even the potassium sparing diuretic also decrease the sebum production, spironolactone. We can use the comedolytics to inhibit this comedogenesis, the formation of microcomedo. So all these drugs are there. we will discuss. Then there is another form of acne called acne rosacea, or commonly it is only known as rosacea. So this acne rosacea is characterized by your papules and pustules. Okay, there is no comedones. Papules and pustules are there. So comedones is the characteristic feature of acne vulgaris, which is absent in acne rosacea or rosacea. But in rosacea there is papules and pustules. And most important thing is this rosacea is a relapsing condition. This is a relapsing condition, and it is episodic. It is episodic. It occurs in episodes. It is there. Then there will be a complete cure. Then again it will occur. So this it is episodic, and it is exacerbated by the trigger agents are the sun exposure, heat, alcohol, caffeine, spicy food, strong emotions. But in acne vulgaris there can be varied reasons, and acne vulgaris is chronic, whereas rosacea is episodic. These are the differences. And another difference is the rosacea is typically localized commonly over the central face, the floss areas like your medial cheek, nose, forehead, chin. In these areas this occurs, but acne vulgaris is widespread. So first of all, we can use soap for cleansing the area. So cleansers is one. Second, we can use the comedolytics and sebostatics. Comedolytics which reverse the comedogenesis, and sebostatics which inhibit the enlargement of sebaceous gland, or the sebaceous gland size and its function to release sebum. All these are inhibited by sebostatics. And this isotretinoin is orally, when used, it acts as a sebostatic. So in this group we have retinoids and naphthoic acid derivatives with retinoid-like properties. Retinoids, first generation retinol, tretinoin, isotretinoin, alitretinoin, second generation acetretin, third generation tazarotene, bexarotene, all these things. And what they do, retinoids stimulate the skin cell turnover, the dead skin cells are cleared off quickly, and new skin cells rise to the surface. This opens the pores, so the trapped bacteria or any other irritant in the pore is released, so the patient will be free from acne. Naphthoic acid derivative adapalene, this has anti-inflammatory action and it controls the hyperkeratinization. Then we can use the exfoliants or peeling agents, keratolytic agent like salicylic acid. We can use hormones like estrogen, cyproterone acetate. We can use antibacterials, including your antibiotics. So we have just grouped antibiotics separately and other antibacterials separately. Some of the antibiotics can be used topically, clindamycin, erythromycin, and some of the antibiotics can be used orally, tetracycline antibiotics like tetracycline, oxytetracycline, doxycycline, minocycline, democlocycline, and this erythromycin can be used both topically as well as orally. Among the other antibacterials besides these antibiotics, sulfonamide like sodium sulfacetamide, metronidazole, the combination of trimethoprim and sulfamethoxazole, cotrimoxazole, benzoyl peroxide, azelaic acid. This azelaic acid is possessing some antibacterial activity. In addition to that, if there is hyperpigmentation also, we can use azelaic acid. Because this is a demelanizing agent or depigmenting agent. So in addition to its depigmenting action, it also has some antibacterial activity. Then cotrimoxazole can be used orally, and mostly topically the drugs are used. And for rosacea, this metronidazole is a drug of choice, and metronidazole is antiprotozoal. It also possesses some antibacterial activity. Sodium sulfacetamide, benzoyl peroxide, they can be used against both acne vulgaris and acne rosacea. So we can classify the acne as mild cases without inflammation, mild cases with inflammation, severe cases with inflammation. So if it is a mild case without inflammation, then we can use tretinoin, adapalene, salicylic acid. And if it is a mild case with inflammation, we can use topical antibiotics, benzoyl peroxide, erythromycin plus benzoyl peroxide. For 4 to 5 weeks you can use. If it is severe case with inflammation, then we can use topical tretinoin, systemic antibiotic plus or minus, means we can add to the topical tretinoin and systemic antibiotic. We can also add oral your isotretinoin, which is a seborrheic agent, inhibit the or decrease the size of your sebaceous gland and decrease the release of sebum. In women with reproductive age, in adult female, we can use the oral contraceptive pills containing your estrogen, or we can use cyproterone acetate. So this is all about the management of acne. Thank you.